everybody, Combat Stu Carter here from Atamaii TV. I've got the spaceships from that hot movie Guardians of the Galaxy. So stand by for a Guardians toy review. I know what you're thinking. You say, well, how come Stu's wearing his Navy uniform? I'll tell you why, because when you're talking spaceships, you're talking Navy, not Air Force, because why? Because there's no air in space, duh. So what have I got here? Well, Hasbro Toys has released 3 of the ships from Guardians. I've got here Rocket Raccoon's Warbird. I've got the Nova Corps Starblaster, and I've got the big Milano Starship. And I want to give a shout out to, again, the Discount Geek. He has reminded me that also Lego is releasing ships and minifigures in their Marvel superhero line. For now, you can get Nova Corps Starblaster, the Milano spaceship, and the Sakaran Necrocraft, which Hasbro hasn't released. All available at Lego.com, which I wonder, why would any store carry Lego toys if Lego is going to sell directly on the internet? It is so crazy. I'm so happy I'm not selling toys anymore. I'm just doing the videos. Well, let's have a close look at these boxes, okay? So here's the box for Rocket Raccoon's Warbird. It says figure included. I look at the back there. There's some nice Guardians movie artwork there, and it says wings pivot up for battle. I don't remember that in the movie, but you do remember that cool scene, right, where Rocket's like flying it. There he is right there going nuts on people. And we'll talk a little bit about this figure that's included. And it says upgrade with included battle gear, which I don't think was in the movie either, but it's okay. It adds playability, right? And Rocket Raccoon Warbird says, when you're facing down whatever nastiness space throws your way, there's only one thing better than a really big cannon. 2 really big cannons. Rocket Raccoon, did he say that in the movie? I don't remember. Okay, yeah, well, let's open this up. You didn't see that, did you? Okay, fine. One of my action figures fell down. So here's what you get when you open up the box. Looks like I've got some stickers to put on. And there's the ship. And a couple parts to assemble. Yeah, okay, let's get this put together. So here's all the pieces parts. Comes some directions. Wait a minute. Don't be throwing this away too soon, because you might want to use this to figure out where to put the stickers correctly, okay? This is one time when you want to keep the directions for a little while. It's also got one of those, what do you call this, a plastic frame for the molded pieces. And I'm going to use a wire cutter to cut these off, and then maybe a nail file to kind of file them down smooth. Don't use wire cutters unless you're old enough, okay? You can also just bend these. You can just cut these by bending them, and then you got your nail file. Is certainly safe, okay? Well, let's start putting these together. Here's the little figure for Rocket Raccoon, and he's got some kind of weapon here too. I guess those are for the ship. All right, let's put this together. So here's Rocket's Warbird assembled. Not too hard to do. These upper wings move up and down. That's real cool. And the decals do add a little bit of finish to it. That's nice. And you notice he's got, these are called fin flashes. These guys started way back in World War I. Instead of putting a flag on an airplane, they put the fin flash. I think they decided it was easier to understand and spot in the air. So that's the origin of this kind of thing. And you can pop open the hatch, and there's Rocket Raccoon in there. He's not articulated. I'll show you him in a minute. He's not articulated, so he doesn't really sit in the cockpit, but at least the canopy opens and closes pretty easy. I kind of like that. There's you know, I got these nacelles for engines and stuff. And there's an added, you know, those added pieces you can stick on there, but they weren't in the movie, if I recall. Like there's this flick missile thing, you know. And then there's these 2 other pieces that stick on here. I'm not going to put those on because I want to show you the ship, and you decide, does this look like the ship in the movie? What do you think? Let's look at it close. You can see what you think. Does that look like the movie? Okay, but I do have an issue here. This is Rocket Raccoon's Warbird. Where does Groot go? Groot, I'm Groot. Groot and Rocket Raccoon are partners. They're a team. Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Where does Groot go? There's no room for Groot. You can just, all right. This is the big one, right? Okay, I'll get the small Groot. He doesn't fit it. Look, he doesn't fit it even on top of Rocket. He doesn't fit in there. There's no room for Groot. Maybe he could ride on the wing here. I see a plot hole. So if Rocket is riding this Warbird around the galaxy, where is Groot going? How does Groot get there? I think I see a hole in the plot of the movie. You tell me. If you could figure out how Groot gets around with Rocket, if there's no room on the boat, on the ship. And look, the wing came off too. Oh well, it'll snap back on. This plastic is kind of that softy plastic. It's not hard modeling kind of plastic. So it's durable. If you have a young child, they can probably beat the heck out of this and they'll be fine. Eventually they might lose a piece here and there. But it's a very safe, and it says for ages 4 and up, but that's pretty much your standard thing. There's small pieces, of course. There's small pieces, so if you have a young child, you've got to get rid of these small pieces, okay? All right. And then the Nova Corps Starblaster with a figure included. And you might remember, if you've seen the movie, the Nova Corps deploy, I don't know, hundreds of these, and they do something with the bad guys. I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen the movie. I'm not a spoiler. It includes upgrade with included battle gear again, which was not seen in the movie. And it folds down to patrol mode and then deploys for battle. Nova Corps Starblaster. Nova Corps aren't your run-of-the-mill space cops. They're smart, honest, and dedicated. In other words, they're a total pain, so says Star-Lord. Well, just because they threw Star-Lord and the gang in prison, don't hold that against them. It includes a figure, it says. See, he's sitting in there. Yeah, cool. Let's open this one up. Here's the Nova Corps Starblaster out of the box. There we go. Boy, it's a little better. It's got a lot of pieces here. And it's got the little frame plastic thing, and then we're gonna have to take this apart. There he is. He's inside there. You see all that stuff? We're gonna get all this box opened up, and we'll put them together too. I'll use the clippers again to get these parts off. Right, so I've got my Nova Corps Starblaster. My Nova Corps figure is the dude figures inside, and this is cruise mode, and it has this nice feature like you spread these wings up, and it's like attack mode. That's pretty cool, huh? It's like if you're a spaceship designer, you're going to say, well, everything is functional. But, sometimes you do things because it looks cool and the enemy goes, whoa, I wish we could do that. How come we can't do that with our wings? I want to do that. And the canopy opens easily, and then there's my Nova Corps dude inside there. It's a pretty big cockpit, right? So, and there's even a little bit of detail in these. And then he's articulated enough, the guy, so that he can actually sit. And let's see, this looks pretty big. Maybe Groot can fit inside there. We've been looking for a place for Groot to ride. Oh no, maybe, yeah, there we go. Groot can ride. Yay for Groot. And here's a better look at the wing deployment battle mode thing, see? And then you have to hold it way back here. There, now you can see it. Yeah. Does it look much like in the movie? And here's the Milano Starship. It was so big I had to back the camera up a little bit. Figure included, of course, that's Star-Lord. That's his boat, it's his ship. And it says lights and battle sounds. And in fact, 2 alkaline batteries are required, not included. Adult assembly required, no tools needed, fine. And see here on the side, lights and battle sounds, dual firing missiles, and some graphics, and the back of the box. And Milano Starship, so how does a kid from a total backwater like Earth end up in a cutting edge starship? Pretty simple. I sewed this galaxy, who's the boss? I mean, what else would you expect from a guy called Star-Lord? Yeah, he's a Star-Lord, and he's got, there's 1 figure included, and then they show 2 more of those small figures. We're gonna see how they fit. The cool thing about the Milano, I'm sure you remember if you saw the movie, it's big and it has both the command bridge, and rooms, and like, you know, where he's got his bunk bed and his little tape deck up there. And it kind of reminds me of the ship from Serenity, right? The movie Serenity. And I thought that was kind of cool. So this may end up being the kind of craft starship that people really love. We'll see. Especially if we can see more scenes from inside the ship. That would be cool. Well, I'm looking forward to opening this one. Let's get a good look at it. Now here's the big Milano Starship out of the box. And again, a lot of these parts in the plastic, which we'll have to assemble. Yeah, well, let's get this taken out. Okay, so you get the Milano all assembled, and you put your decals on, and the decals do help dress it up. These outside winglets are unpainted, but you put the decal on there, and it makes them kind of fill in nice. That one's got a crease on it, but these look nice. And two of the winglets will rotate. See, rotate there. That's the only ones. The rest are more or less fixed. So basically, we've got 4 winglets on either side of the aircraft, of the spaceship. And then it looks like 4 thrusters on the bottom. I would call those maneuvering thrusters. Yeah. And then there's main thrusters with decals on the bottom, and a thruster aft end of the ship as well. And you get the name of the Milano right there, a decal for that. The canopy cockpit cover, doesn't really seem in there great. It's there. You have to kind of fiddle with it to get it in. You can open and close it there. Whoop. See, it kind of popped off, but there you can see Star-Lord, Jason Quill, right? And I've got the Nausicaan captain. One of my wings just fell off. It's all right. There's a Nausicaan. Is that? I got him sitting in there because I bought that separate, right, to show off. And yeah, so the craft is not quite as cool in a way. I mean, it looks good, but it's not as detailed as in the movie. In the movie, he had bunk beds, he had a stateroom, and probably he's got a kitchen somewhere. Well, if they're going to do all that, they would probably have to make this 4 feet long, and so that's not going to work. But at least there's a little bit of a cockpit there. 3 guys could ride. Let's see here. I've got a Rocket Raccoon, one of those 2.5-inch figures, and he goes in there. Okay, he doesn't articulate like the Nausicaan. But what about Groot? Here, I've got a Groot. Hey, Groot, can you go in there? Let's get Groot in there. He wants to ride. Yeah, he doesn't really fit. I got his big old stumpy feet and still his head sticking out. And let's put the canopy. Oh, the canopy don't close with Groot in there. Groot. So you've got to drive around space with the window open just because of Groot. That's why in the movie, in fact, you don't see Groot in the front. Up in the front of the spaceship in the movie, it's just like Star-Lord and the other 2, the humanoid people. The Groot has to go below, I guess, and kind of curl up in the bunk bed or something. Groot. Oh, poor Groot. But maybe if he, like, I don't know, can you... it doesn't... poor Groot. Okay, you got to wait outside, Groot. And so, there. And let's check out these lights and sounds. Right, so you have one button on the back, the press, and you'll get lights and sounds. I'm just pressing one time each. Then if you hold it down, you start it firing. Commence low light testing. Cool. So how does the Milano toy compare to the movie version? Well, for one thing, you don't get the see-through canopy, which is too bad. If you had a model, if this was a real model, you'd have that transparent canopy, wouldn't you? That would be cool. I would, you know, because it was kind of cool in the movie looking through the canopy while they were flying the Milano around. But still, it's a nice looking craft. It's sort of, to me, it's sort of, you could say retro, kind of Art Deco inspired retro lines. Kind of a little bit clunky, but a little bit cool, you know, somewhat streamlined. In fact, they used to call certain trains in the old days streamliners because they had that kind of Art Deco kind of look to them. It's a nice looking spaceship though. This has got the fin flash, just like Rocket Raccoon's spaceship. And the Milano has these flick missiles, got 2 of them. You know, just a typical push them out with your finger kind of flick missiles, right? Wow, there you went. I gotta go find it now. And here's a good close-up look at the 3 figures that came with the ships. Was it Peter Jason Quill? And a little bit of articulation so that he can sit down, he can bend at the knees, or excuse me, he can bend at the waist and the elbows. And you can see his kind of a little halfway beard. You should be ashamed to try to have a beard. If you can't grow a real full beard, don't even try. It just looks silly. Looks like you're trying too hard. And then Rocket Raccoon is there, and a little bit of detail, you know, on his paint, but no articulation whatsoever. And then my Nova Corps guy, which is having a hard time standing up, but you can see some nice little paint details on his little uniform there in his helmet. That's kind of nice. And he can, like Jason Quill, he can kind of sit down. He sits down better than he stands up, that's for sure. These are just little tiny things. They're only about, what does it say? They're only about 2 inches tall. Yep, 2 1/4, 2 1/2. So there you go. Well, that's my look at the spaceships of Guardians of the Galaxy. And I recommend you subscribe because coming up, we're going to have some fun.
No one I know is out to kill me again.